Hi everyone, my name is Julie Alley and I'm one of the marketing coordinators with BCIT School of Health Sciences. It's my pleasure to welcome you to this information session for food technology. First off, I want to say how happy we are to see you all here and thank you for attending the presentation today. Second, you may post your questions and comments into the chat during the presentation. We will address as many questions as we can near the end of the presentation in the Q&A segment. And third, please keep your microphone and video turned off until the end of the presentation to reduce connectivity issues and interruptions. This is greatly appreciated. And just before we get started, I want to acknowledge that our province of British Columbia is located on the homelands of 203 distinct Indigenous nations and cultures with over 30 different languages and close to 60 unique dialects which are spoken in the province. We ask all participants reflect, acknowledge, and honor in their own way the First Nation land on which they live, work, and play. And our agenda for today, we're going to go first with a video that's going to show you a showcase food technology in the program at BCIT. There'll be a presentation by the program head, Aaron Friesen, and a program overview. We will then go into our program advising session, which will also be presented by Aaron, and then an open Q&A where Jennifer Elliott, our Associate Dean, Aaron Friesen, our Program Head, and Ambreen Sharif, our Resident Program Advisor, are all available to answer your questions. And now onto our video.
Great job.
We have been making wines, and today we finally get to bottle it and drink it and have different flavors that different groups made. I chose food tech because you get to learn everything about food, which is like so exciting. I love being at BCIT and being part of this program.
Basically, food technology helps students work with food manufacturers to make food that is safe to eat and is of high quality. So here at BCIT, we teach the food technology students how to develop and implement the food safety and quality systems that are going to run. And we also teach them the various test methods for supporting those food safety and quality programs. Students that graduate in food technology work with food safety programs, and so they're trained to develop and implement them. These are very significant programs now for the food industry, and so our students are really capable of carrying those programs on and expanding them.
At the packaging line, we have to make sure that the product is at its highest quality and also that we're producing at the most efficient rate. So I love my job because I get to control the quality of the product and to meet the highest standards. When I started in the food industry, I realized that what I learned in the program actually is what I'm going to do. So you're prepared for the job.
The best kind of student for food technology is somebody that really cares about food. So somebody that might like to experiment with food, producing it and working with it. Just being that close to the food that we're producing, it really makes you feel good about what you do for a living.
And Aaron Friesen, over to you.
Welcome. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for attending. And we are going to start off here with, I guess, just to give a few examples of what food technology is. You could be testing the vitamin C content of orange juice. You could be, here we go. Here's the poll question. So I won't have to do it off the top of my head. So the poll question for you, are all of these things are something a food technologist may do, except one of these is something a food technologist would not do. So have a look at the different examples and pick the one that a food technologist wouldn't do. And I see most people here have answered, and you guys are correct. So that is one of the things that food technology is interested in the foods before they get into your, well, we still look at what happens in the mouth, But once it gets into your stomach and the nutrients and how they go into your body, is more nutrition. So we are not a nutrition program, but we are interested in developing foods, analyzing foods, and what happens when you taste foods. So that is what a food technologist would do. So we would develop a vegan cream cheese. We measure vitamin C levels in orange juice, and food technologists also go and inspect facilities. So we could go and inspect a pasta manufacturing facility, for example. So awesome. You guys are on the right track and understand what food technology is. So is food technology for you? In order to, some key characteristics, what we're looking for in this program is you should be curious and fascinated by the science behind food. So if you watch television, for example, you might be interested in the show How It's Made and see how different foods are made, because you would be typically working in a food manufacturing facility that manufactures foods that you find in grocery stores. If you are process oriented and accurate, this would also be a good program for you. Are you able to work independently, but also part of a team? So you will have a combination of independent work and then also working as part of a larger team that involves other people at the food manufacturing facility. And are you interested in working in an exciting and fast-paced environment? So what do you need to get into this program? We do accept students out of high school. However, we do have also a large number of people who enter with post-secondary degrees or a combination of some post-secondary education from another school. You need to have an aptitude for science and be interested, because we do have a few chemistry courses as well as math courses in this program. And you need to have an interest in learning more about food and helping make sure that the food we're eating is as safe and as high quality as it can be. So program overview, what we do is we train students in the basics of food technology. So we look at what food is, what food's made of, and then we look at how foods are processed. We look at how we analyze foods. So different quality control checks like pH or viscosity, looking at texture. We do food testing, so we do some taste testing, and then we also do food analysis. So we analyze the carbohydrate content, the vitamin C content. So there's a variety of different components that we go over in this program. It's a 2-year full-time diploma program. It's a combination of lectures and labs. So it's about 50% theory as well as 50% hands-on experience, where we manufacture and analyze a wide variety of different food items. It is also an industry-sponsored program in the sense that we have projects that industry will submit where you are solving a problem for industry. So whether they have shelf life concerns or want a new product developed, that might be a project that you end up working on. We also have a course that's a product development course, and that's where you get an opportunity to design a new product and look at pricing and look at where you might sell the product and who the market might be for these particular products. So career outlook, most of our grads get work within 2 months of graduating. So there are a large number of food manufacturers here based in the Lower Mainland. The type of company you may work for does vary. So there's a large, so there are some big industries like dairy and meat processing, but there's also a large number of small mom and pop type businesses. BCIT grads work in these facilities to ensure that the foods that the companies are producing are safe and high quality. With applied work experience in the field, you will have the skills that industry is looking for. So through this program, you will have sufficient skills and you will be quite highly sought after at the end of this program. So an example of 3 students, the 3 students on the left side here were students who graduated from our program maybe about 5 or 6 years ago. And as part of the product development course here, they designed or they developed their own, it started off as chickpea. They made it a tempeh product out of chickpeas as part of the product development course, which they then went on and competed in a national competition and came in 3rd in the national competition for product development. But after they finished our program, they decided to launch this product into their own company, and they started their own company out of the product that they developed here at BCIT. So it's an exciting story of some of our previous grads. And we also have another testimony here from another grad of ours. Next slide. So Andrew Williamson is a student who graduated 2 years ago now, and his testimonial is, I chose to study food technology at BCIT because I wanted to utilize both my past educational experience in science and my interest in cooking. As with most programs at BCIT, the practical labs were the most enjoyable aspect, but I also really enjoyed the product development course in my second year, which is what I'm aiming for later in my career. And so when he graduated, he got a job at a produce company and enjoyed his time here at BCIT. So the admission process. So I will go over the general admission process. And if you have specific questions, that's where you'd want to get in touch with somebody from program advising to talk about your specific scenario and the courses you've taken. So as mentioned, I believe already in the chat box, we do open up applications in October, and we are a first come, first qualified program. So if you meet the requirements and there's a spot available, you would be granted a spot. So we open the application in October 1st, and we continue to take these applications until the program's filled. And then we also maintain a wait list once the program has filled all the seats. So applying early is recommended, but if you are still interested, I encourage you to apply, as we do have some seats. We reserve seats for domestics, as well as we have a number of seats available for international students as well. So the application process, you submit your application, it's reviewed, the requirements are reviewed, and then as part of this process, you have to convert all your documents to PDF. You have to complete a mandatory questionnaire, and you do this process at applyonline@bcit.ca. So the entrance requirements for this program, you do need to have a proficiency in speaking and listening in English. So to meet that, you need to have 2 years full-time education in an English speaking country or the equivalent test/course. If you've studied here in Canada, having English 12 at 67% or English First Peoples 12 will meet this requirement. We do have a number of chemistry courses in this program. So we require chemistry 11 with a 67%. And then we also have some math requirements in this program. So we require pre-calculus 12 with 67% or foundations of math 12 with 73%. And I would encourage you, if you have questions about this, this is where you'd want to reach out to somebody in program advising to see if your education has met these requirements. So qualities to be successful in this program. Strong communication skills. When you're working on the production floor, you'll need to be able to communicate with both the employees who are working on the production line, as well as if you find any concerns that you need to report to management. So both written and verbal communication skills are key to being successful in your career. You need to have interest in analytical work because you will be analyzing data. And so being able to properly obtain that data and report it will be key. Being able to pay attention to detail. So when you're out on the production floor, seeing whether there's issues, doing inspections as part of the job. So being able to detect these things is important. Problem solving and decision making. So when you do find an issue on the production floor, knowing what the appropriate action will be. And all these things are things that we teach you through the program. So don't be afraid at this point if you're not aware of what you might need to do in those situations. And then working in the food industry, you are part of a team. So you'll need to have teamwork skills as well as people skills, which is something that we develop in the program. So there will be some individual projects, some group projects, and then once you're working in industry, there will also be some teamwork and requirements as well. So the transcripts and documents, you'll need to upload digital copies. And in order to do that, you can take pictures of the transcripts and upload them, or you can download your digital transcript from your high school and upload. Mailing in the transcripts is not recommended. It's a much slower process, and especially knowing that we are a first qualified program, you'd want to make sure that you get those documents up as soon as possible. For BCIT students, you do not need to submit your official transcripts, and admissions will access your records directly. So the admission process, admissions reviews your applications to ensure you first of all met the requirements. If there's a seat available, you will be offered a seat. And then at that point, you will then need to pay the commitment fee that reserves your spot. With regards to this program, so this program is a 2-year diploma, which is shown in the orange. So I'm talking specifically right now at this point about the diploma program, but we do have a number of other programs, which I'll touch on in a second. So our 2-year diploma ladders into a few other programs here at BCIT if you were interested in having a bachelor's degree. The two primary routes where we've seen students go, most of our students go into the Bachelor's of Environmental Public Health here at BCIT. So it's a 2-year program that inspects facilities where where people may get sick. So, you're inspecting public swimming pools, inspecting restaurants, inspecting smaller food manufacturing facilities. So that's an opportunity for you to build on what you've learned in the food technology program and become a public health inspector, if that's of interest. So we do have some students that go that route and then actually remain in the food industry because the two programs are quite connected. Another option is a Bachelor's of Technology at BCIT, Technology Management. And then we are also working on a laddering option for our students to get into a Bachelor's of Business Administration. So that's an option as well. There are a few other degrees, but they are quite different from food technology, but there are a few other degree options as well if you wanted to then ladder into another degree. After that, if you do complete a bachelor's degree, there are master's opportunities available for you, or you can continue on and do another diploma or other certificates. In food technology, we do have a food safety associate certificate. So if you already have a degree and are maybe just interested in taking a few food technology courses, the food technology associate certificate may be of interest to you. And that's where you'd be taking 6 or 7 courses related to food technology. It's offered through our flexible learning. So it's just a part-time program. And then we do also have 2 micro certificates. One is a micro certificate here at BCIT that's 2 courses on food safety. And then we also now have a micro certificate in combination with UBC. And so that program there is 4 courses. And the 4 courses are more introductory level food safety type courses. So these wouldn't give you the full spectrum of information that you'd be getting in our diploma, but are a nice way of getting a certificate from a Canadian institute and learning a little bit about food safety. Or if you already have been working in the food industry, that's a good way of upgrading your food safety skills by taking these smaller programs.
Hi, Erin. I can step in for the next couple of
Perfect.
here. Now moving from the academics, I would like to let you know that BCIT is committed to supporting students in a holistic sense. We want you to succeed not only in your academics, but also outside of school. Some of the student services are available to you as a prospective student, and others will be available to you once you become an enrolled student. Here are some of the important student supports that I'd like to mention. If you are Indigenous, BCIT's Indigenous Initiatives Department is there for you to ensure a smooth transition to your first year. They offer peer-to-peer mentorship, a welcoming gathering place, and provide clarification on Indigenous funding. BCIT awards, scholarships, and bursaries are listed on our financial aid and awards webpage. I would like to mention that we have a President's Entrance Award. Selection is based on academic achievement, but also on volunteer and community service. Please contact financial aid directly for more information. BCIT is committed to providing assistance to students with permanent or temporary disabilities. If you have been accepted into a program and believe you may need accommodation to be successful, I encourage you to connect with our Accessibility Services Department. BCIT Student Health Services is a health clinic located at the Burnaby campus. They provide medical care for current BCIT students year-round. We have a Counseling and Student Development Department available to help you enhance your educational performance and maximize your success as a student at BCIT. And now, last but not least, our Recreation Services Department promotes and encourages and enables the practice of physical well-being. We consider recreation an integral part of campus life and welcome all students to enjoy their services. Next, connect with us. If you have any questions following this presentation, contact program advising by telephone. You can drop in, you can email, and there's a toll-free number as well. Also, we invite you to connect with us via social media. Check out our Facebook, our Twitter, Instagram, YouTube videos, our LinkedIn. We invite you to come take a tour on campus, spend a day, come to our big info sessions, get to know our services. So this slide deck and a recording will be emailed to you, so you don't have to worry about taking screenshots or anything. You will get this all in your email next week. Now, I'd like to open the floor to our question and answer portion. Ambreen, were there any questions that were unanswered or that may be good for the whole group to hear?
No, I don't think so. I think I've sort of been keeping up the questions. I did want to say that Spend a Day is something that, wasn't available through the pandemic, and it's back. So please take advantage of that, because it's an excellent way to really get a realistic picture of what the program is about, be able to get in there and ask some questions. Erin, did you want to maybe give sort of an example of what that would look like?
So usually when we have students attend Spend a Day, we try and find a lab, and it's usually a food processing lab, because those give you a little bit more of a taste of how food's made and what we do in our food processing labs. So we would try and find a lab where it's suitable for you to walk in without previous experience, or without having the previous courses. So you'd spend the mornings. It's about a 3-hour lab where you manufacture a food. And then after the lab, if you then want to continue on and attend a few of the lectures, you'd be welcome to attend the lectures and follow on with the students and see what their courses are like. So we do have students do Spend a Day, and we actually have quite a high return. So usually students who do Spend a Day often register in our program. And what I also wanted to mention is we also have a Instagram account specific for the food technology program. So if you want to see some pictures of the students doing labs, I would encourage you to find the food technology BCIT Instagram account, and you can get a feel for what the students are doing in the program there.
In terms of entrance requirements, we get a lot of questions about whether certain courses would be considered equivalent. So if you go, for instance, for post-secondary courses, if you go to bcit.ca and do a search for post-secondary equivalency, you'll pull up information about what we would require from a post-secondary course for it to meet the requirement, the high school requirement. But we're happy to break that down for you and to sort of walk you through that. So please feel free to contact us at Program Advising by email, come visit us in person or virtually. And we can sort of go through your academic background to see if you've covered off the requirements and what you might need.
If there's no more questions, we'd like to thank you for your time today, for being with us, and we wish you all the best in your future in health sciences. Thank you to Erin Friesen for that wonderful presentation, and to Ambreen for answering all those questions.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.